Hello and welcome, fellow bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We are looking at The Island by Adrian McKinty. Now, if you remember, I did review The Chain by Adrian McKinty on this channel can't remember if it was this year or last year. God, it's all getting away from me. But I would definitely say, so we gave this one a go and oh my goodness. So literally what happens is you've got Heather, who's like in her 20s. She marries this lovely rich doctor in his 40s who has 2 teens, and they decide to go to Australia. And then the kids are like, oh, we want to go see a koala. And then they go onto this weird island, and then something happens and they basically get trapped on this island. And Heather, who wasn't really a mother, who's very close in age to the teenagers, is now having to look after these 2 children and basically make it off this island alive. And there's a Danish couple as well there who unfortunately, well, I'm not going to give too much information away, but yeah. And my God, it was full on. So I will say this, it was very full on. There was a very small bit where it wasn't, and then it was a lot. And sometimes I find when it's a lot with books, sometimes I have to like take a step back. I have to sit back, palate cleanse with something mind-numbing on TV, whatever. And this just kind of like, this was one where occasionally I had to put it down and be like, take a breath, take a step back. But genuinely, like, Heather was a fantastic character, like a fantastic character. The 2 kids loved it because it was a good balance of, you're not my mom, you're just some, to finally being like, no, we trust you, we don't trust our dad. Every like little twist and turn, how she managed to keep them alive, like the thought process that goes through her head, like every single bit of this book, I was like, oh my God, what next? So it was partly anxiety, being like, oh my God, what's next? Oh, I feel a bit sick, but also going, oh my God, I'm so excited, what's next? So it was one of those where it's like you kind of sit back and you go, right, okay, this is interesting. Let's have a think about it. Let's, digest it. And I thoroughly enjoyed the other book, and I definitely enjoyed this one. And I would say, especially when it comes up to, you've got the characters and you've got the dynamics between Heather, the children, the dad, the couple, you've got the dynamics of all of that, and you're seeing what they're doing, and you're seeing what they're doing on this Dutch island. So maybe the people aren't Dutch. Anyway, so what they're doing on Dutch Island and how they're sort of law unto themselves. And there's literally a point where like they're negotiating a price. And I will admit I got a little bit pissed off with the guy, because I was like, Tom was like, in his head he was like, Heather, shut up, you're making it worse. And I'm like, Heather's the only one with her head on right now. Listen to that woman. As opposed to Tom being like, oh, you're making it worse, let's stop. And I'm like, calm the hell down. But, until you find yourself in that situation, which I don't think many of us will, knock on wood, until you find yourself in that situation, you won't know how you'll act. But I can tell you now, I would not have survived as long as she did, with children as well. I'd have been gone straight away. I'd have died first night. But obviously, it is what it is. But I did thoroughly enjoy it, and I would say give it a go. Again, I would normally say library, hardback, paperback, Kindle, however you want to read it. And let me know below in the comments what you think. If you do think it's a little bit full on, if you do think you need to put it down at times, take a breather, let me know. But just thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for reading the books that I'm recommending, and thank you for constantly having a look at my videos. And remember to always keep it content too.